LESSERAFIM was dragged through one of the nastiest smear campaigns K-pop has ever seen. False rumors, non-stop hate, and even threats. Most groups would have crumbled. But somehow they didn't just survive, they came back louder, stronger, and completely unstoppable, which has made people question, how did they pull that off? It's safe to say that LESSERAFIM hasn't had peace since day one. Even before their debut, things were quite messy as Garam's mistreatment allegations sparked huge debates and discussions, and soon after, random accusations like helmet and motorcycle-related plagiarism started showing up. Despite all that noise, they still managed to rise comeback after comeback with a fan base that stuck by them no matter what. But things really started spiraling during the Easy era. It began with teaser clips that stirred backlash over the styling. Then came the controversy about using a church for filming, despite it being a common location for movies and MVs. After that, plagiarism claims surfaced again, this time about their B-side Smart. Still, none of that compared to the storm that hit after one specific encore performance of Easy. That stage drew intense backlash worldwide, and what began as criticism quickly turned into full-on hate. It was as if no idol group had ever struggled vocally before or had a bad encore. Suddenly, people were calling for LESSERAFIM to disband and leave the industry, with some saying the members didn't deserve to continue their careers. In the midst of the hate train, LESSERAFIM's Coachella stage couldn't have come at a worse time. To make it clear, they performed for 40 minutes straight, with live vocals, barely any backtrack, intense choreography, and those at the festival said it was a fun, energetic show. But once the clips hit the internet, things took a turn. However, the backlash online wasn't just about the performance, and it soon exploded into something much bigger. People were tearing into the girls for everything: how they looked, their skills, their families, even their personal lives. Posts bashing them racked up hundreds of thousands of likes and quote retweets, and the hate just kept growing. Despite all of that, the members acted like things were normal. They kept posting, smiling, showing up to schedules like nothing was wrong, even as strangers wished the worst on them day after day. The hate train started rolling back in March of last year, and it hasn't slowed down since. Things took another turn when LESSERAFIM kicked off their hot era. Well, sort of. The moment the teasers dropped, the same cycle began, and people accused them of plagiarism out of thin air, like clockwork. For example, on February 23rd, the group revealed their tanned guayak concept photos. The desert setting, the sun-kissed, slightly burnt look all matched the hot theme perfectly. The sunburnt concept especially is a visual that's been around forever, used by countless artists and brands, and it recently went viral thanks to GQ China's heatstroke photo shoot from June 2024. So it made sense for LESSERAFIM to go with a similar vibe for a concept literally called hot. Still, that didn't stop Twitter from erupting. Instead of seeing it as a natural concept choice, people accused them of copying Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso music video, specifically a scene with the word espresso tanned onto a guy's back. One person even claimed that a group photo with yellow fonts in 2 different styles was also ripped from Sabrina, and just like that, the internet ran with it. So what should have been seen as a fitting concept for a summer comeback turned into another excuse to drag them. People didn't just say it was similar, they acted like it was just another example of LESSERAFIM doing what they always do. The comments from Twitter users said, "Down to the font is crazy," and "What's wrong with their creative director?" What made the whole thing even more ridiculous is that Sabrina herself said espresso and the whole album was inspired by the 80s, so even her concept wasn't exactly brand new. And that photo people claimed LESSERAFIM copied down to the font? That wasn't even real. The original didn't have any text, so someone edited it just to make it look similar. But of course, that didn't stop people from coming up with more accusations. Some claim the hot teasers looked just like Rose Gray's Louder Please album cover, even though there's literally nothing in common between the two. Others dragged in Tyla's push to start music video, saying that LESSERAFIM had copied that concept too. At that point, it wasn't even about similarities anymore. It felt like people were just waiting to attack no matter what the girls did. Then, when LESSERAFIM dropped their hot concept video titled Born Fire, it was exactly what you would expect for a comeback with that name. But of course, it didn't take long for accusations to pop up again. This time, people claimed it was too similar to a Mugler ad featuring supermodel Anok Yai promoting their Alien Super Scents fragrance. A Twitter user even posted a side-by-side comparison, arguing that the similarities were too obvious to ignore and calling it plagiarism. Someone added, "Plagiarizing a designer brand's advert and doing so terribly, choose a struggle." When people looked closely at the side-by-side comparison, they quickly realized that the Twitter user had edited the trailer to make it seem like the sequence was copied frame by frame. Sure, you can argue about whether the trailer was inspired by the ad or if it's just a coincidence, but what's telling is the effort someone put into this. They took the time to download the teaser, cut out different parts, and stitch them together, just to make it look like LESSERAFIM plagiarized. It really shows how far some are willing to go to fuel the hate and keep it going. When the album dropped, the plagiarism claims started to fall apart. For instance, the B-side track Come Over, produced by J. Lloyd Watson and Lydia Kiddo of Jungle was accused of sounding too similar to a Jungle song. Then it was compared to an EAJ track, which was once again a stretch. Despite all this, LESSERAFIM just kept going, promoting as usual and handling the criticism with grace. Their performances were all live, their vocals solid, and even their encores received praise from fans online. While there were a few claims that LESSERAFIM was losing steam both in Korea and internationally, their songs kept climbing the charts and their popularity only grew. The backlash against LESSERAFIM reached an absurd point where it became clear to some people that the hate was built on nothing. Plagiarism claims were being made over baseless comparisons, and their performances were attacked relentlessly, whether they were good or bad. Every live performance, no matter how impressive, was met with accusations of lip-syncing or bad vocals. Even the hate and criticism of their Coachella performance last year was brought into question. It was hard to ignore the overwhelming negativity the performance received, accusations of lip-syncing, or if they were singing live, complaints about their vocals. Some even went so far as to say it was the worst performance in Coachella history, with a few non-Koreans even calling it a disgrace to the country. The members faced an enormous amount of hate, to the point where they had to shut down the comment section on their social media, which remained closed until recently. Their families weren't spared either, with Eunchae's cousin publicly pleading for people to stop. It felt like the members couldn't escape the constant stream of degrading insults and accusations. Even when they tried to speak out, the backlash only grew worse. All of this, especially after the Coachella performance and Min Hee-jin's press conference, pushed the hate campaign to an extreme level, crossing into inhumane territory. However, this year's Coachella Week 1 performances put things into perspective. K-pop stars like Blackpink's Lisa and Jennie took the stage and received loads of praise for their performances. But something stood out. Netizens said that the two relied heavily on loud backtracks, and when they did sing live, their voices were barely audible. This led people to reflect on LESSERAFIM's Coachella performance from the previous year, where the group sang live for almost the entire set that lasted 40 minutes, delivering intense choreography with minimal backing tracks. Fans pointed out that LESSERAFIM deserved an apology for the criticism they faced, especially for being called out for sounding out of breath after giving their all in a 40-minute performance. A Twitter user wrote, "LESSERAFIM's performance really proves K-pop fans don't care if you lip-sync or use loud backtrack as long as you are not LESSERAFIM, who sang completely live." While some argued that every artist should face criticism for poor performances, it's clear that K-pop fans often take it much further than constructive feedback. What they call criticism includes life-threatening messages, accusations of sleeping their way to the top, and relentless harassment that forces the group to shut down their social media comment sections. It's one thing to have an opinion that the members' vocals aren't up to par, or that their performance wasn't as strong as others, but the level of cruelty directed at them, taunting and hoping they would break under the pressure, was shocking and heartbreaking to witness. Fortunately, things are changing for the better. People are starting to reflect on the hate LESSERAFIM faced and realizing it was completely unjust. Their hard work and talent are now being recognized and praised, with their music getting the recognition it deserves. The group's strength and determination have shown that as long as they stand together, they can overcome anything. As one Reddit user put it, "They've gone through a lot since their debut until now, but they are always thankful and kind. It's inspiring how their journey really lives up to their group name, and through every challenge, they become even more real and graceful." The girls are now receiving more love and support than ever, not just from their fans, but also from the public, fellow idols, and even Western artists. With so many people backing them, they'll have a strong foundation through it all. It's clear that as long as they keep delivering great music and working hard, nothing, no matter how much hate they face, can break them.